Merry meet everyone, I'm Witch Hazel, and today I thought we'd chat a little bit about embracing your witchy side with some tips to living a more spiritual lifestyle. So for this video, I came up with 5 ideas that hopefully will lead into more ideas, but I'm going to start out with first thing in the morning, having some quiet time. Now, for me, I prefer the morning because that's when I get the most done, but some people may prefer the evening. But either way, at some point in your day, schedule some time for yourself. I would say 2 hours is a good amount of time, and that's what I do every morning between 4 a.m. when I wake up and 6 a.m. when I start to get ready for my day. I just have a little bit of quiet time. I'll sip my coffee, write in my journal, but I have found that this is a wonderful way to just sit and be and listen, especially if you are one who keeps a journal or if you like to meditate. This is a great time when no one else is up, nothing else is going on, there's no other distraction, that you can really sit and listen to what universe has to tell you. And that will come through in things like insights through meditation, messages through divination, in my case, ramblings in my journal that actually start to sound like something important. So that's the first and foremost tip, is find some quiet time for yourself and make it a regular routine. The second thing I would advocate is to slow down. We have become so used to constant movement, constant bombardment with things, with videos, with work, with emails, with at the phones constantly ping, 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 ping. I mean, it's pretty terrible. And many of us, especially the younger folks growing up these days, don't even remember a time when this wasn't the case, when things were slow and quiet. And one of the biggest pieces of productivity advice that I absolutely hate, and which in my mind goes completely counter to living a more spiritual lifestyle, is to use your dead time. Meaning when you're walking someplace, commuting somewhere, when you're washing the dishes, doing other things, the advice is typically to multitask. If you're walking somewhere, obviously you're not doing anything important, so stick those earbuds in your ears and listen to something and better yourself that way. My personal opinion is this is completely wrong. In my opinion, there is no such thing as downtime. When I'm out walking, I'm out walking. This is the perfect opportunity to look at the world around me, to notice when the trees are changing color, when the butterflies come into town on their migration, when the, what do you call those? I love these things. They are dragonflies. When the dragonflies start to show up, or the grasshoppers, when certain flowers start to bloom. I love my lilacs. They are my favorite, and they have a very short blooming period at the end of April into May. And then you have a certain corner where you have late blooming lilacs. No one knows these things if you're not paying attention. And most of us aren't these days. We go out for a walk, we're listening to things, we're watching things. Those poor dogs, everyone in town has a dog. They go out walking the dog and they never look at the dog. They're looking at their phone the entire time. So this goes along with quiet time, in that this is a great opportunity to immerse yourself in the nature around you. Now, I'm a city girl. It's not like I live in the great outdoors. So this is also my only opportunity during my days to get that kind of interaction with the world around me. And this is another big plus, that you can learn to be more observant. You can learn to Be part of nature, even if you feel as though there's not really any nature around you. Going off of that into the next tip, the third tip, this is bring nature inside. Use nature. Now, my nieces are great at this. Every time they come to visit, they leave home again, and I have flowers and leaves and rocks and twigs and all sorts of stuff littering every surface of my home. So having just random foliage kind of decomposing on your countertops is not ideal. However, you can do this in a better way, which is to do things like houseplants. That plant over there on the corner, kind of gaudy looking right now with that grow light, but I live on the north side of the building and my plants are not happy about it. However, I have several plants stationed all around the house because they bring that life of nature inside. They bring that connection to nature inside, and they are wonderful for helping to purify the energy in your home, helping to purify the air in your home. So plants are a wonderful addition. Other things are seasonal decor. It's getting to be the season now for pine cones and acorns. Those are great things that look good in a little bowl or an apothecary jar out around for decoration. Geodes, gemstones, crystal points, anything like that. This brings in earth energy with the crystals. If you like doing crystal grids, put a crystal grid somewhere in the house. You can bring in the elements and bring in nature in various ways as decor to remind you every day, every time you see that little thing, that you're a part of nature, and we need to work on attuning ourselves to that. Another option, which you may or may not like, but I do know it's a little bit of a trend right now, taxidermy. Bring animals in too, stuffed animals. And, you know, to each his own. And it can be a great addition if that's something that you are okay with. So there are a lot of options, but I highly recommend bring nature into your home. If you want more detailed ideas on that, actually, because now that I started talking, I've got additional ideas, but I don't want to take up too much time. Please let me know in the comments that you would like more ideas of how to bring nature in, and I will put together a video for you on that. Okay, fourth tip is remember that you are a divine temple. This body, what we are living in today, all it is a shell. It's a shell containing that divine spark that is the most important thing to everything in our lives. We would not be here without that divine energy, that divine spark. So given that, if any of you especially are upset when you see ancient ruins or temples or even the local church that's fallen into disrepair, think about why that's upsetting. These are supposed to be the house of God, right? The house of the divine, and taken care of because it's a sign of respect for that divine energy. So we need to do the same for ourselves. That means self-care, which admittedly I am not always good at. I'm kind of lazy on that front. But self-care, taking care of yourself, making time for yourself, figuring out how to relax, how to just, take care of yourself. And along with that also goes taking care of your health, looking at what do you eat, what kind of products do you put onto your skin and your hair, and all of that gets absorbed. And are these all things that you would give to someone or some entity that you really, really respect? I mean, if in my case, if grandpa came to visit, that was, top-notch hierarchy. Grandpa comes to visit, am I gonna feed him second rate, on the discount shelf, donuts with coffee from the market? No, I'm gonna go out to the nice bakery and get the nice cakes and cookies and serve my best coffee in my porcelain coffee pot, Think of it that way. You deserve all of these nice things. You deserve to treat yourself well because you are housing divine energy. So make it a point to take care of yourself, to take care of this divine vessel. Okay, and lastly, fifth tip to create a more spiritual lifestyle. Make time for study. I'm going to mention in another video, I don't know if it will precede or come after this one, the importance of knowing your history. And in this case, I'm going to say more general study. Yes, history, that's one, if you can add that in, or study on any other theme that you believe will help you reach your spiritual goals. So for example, reading other spiritual masters or people who have spoken on spiritual topics. Some of my favorites all come from the early 20th century, so Florence Scovel Shinn, Neville Goddard, Yogananda. I read a lot of Yogananda actually, and find the people you like to read who speak about very important historical and or philosophical topics. Philosophy, Stoicism is also massively popular right now. See if there are any of those authors, the ancient Greeks, who you might like to read. I know everyone always mentions Aristotle, and they mention Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and all of those. You can read, for example, I spent some time reading works about the founding fathers of the United States. What did they read? What did they think about, talk about? The reason this is important, by studying, not just reading for entertainment or watching things for entertainment, but by studying, we are forced to think. And by thinking about complex concepts and topics and themes, we start to make connections between them. We start to connect the dots, and when we do that, then we can start to connect ourselves to all of these other themes and people and points in time and history. But as said, I am going to bring this up in another video, but it's good to repeat it here as well, because this is an excellent way of developing your spiritual lifestyle. Spend some time commingling with the thoughts of others and with the events and times and places of the past and of the present that you are not aware of currently. Okay, awkward transition. Sorry about that. But my camera decided that I was rambling. So those were the 5 tips to create more of a spiritual lifestyle. So I hope you found that entertaining and useful. If there are any other thoughts and ideas you want to share, please do so down in the comments. If there are any other topics or themes you want me to address on this idea of living a spiritual lifestyle, also please let me know. If you have not done so already, please make sure and subscribe to the channel, because I do have several more videos coming out, hopefully in quick succession, which will kind of follow this theme of the spiritual path, and they will also cover more traditional witchy topics as well. Thank you everyone for coming, for watching, for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Blessed be everyone.